This is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
I Boadu TV, Mamunya Kwaba. Na Paul Adom Otchere. Yeah, the Apostle Paul Adom Kwabena je Japan wo jina kana your friends Japan so jina Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia NDC side so ya hu se edin bi by Sedun Ketia Julius Debra ye hu your friend saying finance minister to force and ye hu munta kanum nyina wo ne edin na ba na nya keto chatawali asem no so no ekosi sen kwesi like chata asem le kwesi sen yo ni nyina ya dia Paul Adom Otchere abwewure ma wacheche ni nyina mo nsem sisi o nsem de bisisi papa na onim se enipa 8 ya convert om how akumsin omambo how akum ya convert om hwe judgment na eba fiade ya Paul sisen lawyer yenti we
so controller we expect that everything will be fine. This actually adjust my tie. What's up? Okay. Is it better? Okay, yeah, this is fine. Sorry, viewers. So, controller, we expect that the conversation at the Public Accounts Committee will not be a 9-day one. That we'll see young people who have switched or by reason of something, they can get their salary very quickly. This thing goes on. I mean, it's not nice. We're in a modern world. We're a digitalized society. What is happening? We can do mobile money interoperability, and this we cannot do. Congratulations, the Honorable Abena Osai. We are behind you, and all the young women in Ghana are very, very proud of you. What secondary school did she go to so we can get I don't know the secondary school she went to. We can get anyone who knows, please send it to me. Abena Osai. Was she in, let me look at her and guess. Hey, I don't want to get into trouble. I won't guess. If you know the secondary school she went to, I'll play the anthem for her. I think that she's doing an excellent job. Very, very, very good job over there. Mrs. Abena Osai. Okay, all right. I'm not surprised. They said she went to Wesley Girls High School. Yeah, same name. Okay, all right. Okay, please let's go on. Congratulations, Honorable Abena Osai. Let's move on. Ata Kennedy said something that is, as Kojo Sheldon will say, it bust my mind. Ata Kennedy says some young people have never worked in their lives. They follow some big men after school, get a big position, and after 2 years, they build mansions. Yet nobody asks how. Dr. Ata Kennedy, founding member of NPP, opponent of Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, principal opponent of Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Does this make anyone feel bad? Does this make us feel that we should think? Ata Kennedy, principal opponent of Nana Akufo-Addo, says some young people have never worked in their lives. They follow some big men after school. And get a big position. And after 2 years, they build mansions. Yet, nobody asks how. Do you have somebody in mind? Or you can say, don't worry, just send a text to us. Hey, the person he's talking about is Paul Adom Otchere. He finished school, he went to follow Akufo-Addo there. After 2 years, he built house. Or the person he's talking about is Kofi Blonya. He followed Kwame Adokufo and went to build a house. Or the person he's talking about is it's 11 minutes past 10 o'clock in the night. This is Good Evening Ghana, and it's still live. Ata Kennedy is provoking us to think. But as we do on Good Evening Ghana, let's look at the flip side of the conversation. Really? What is wrong with that? I'm just playing the devil's advocate. I don't have any side. You tell me what it is. What is wrong with that? If I'm in level 300 and I follow Dr. Charles Reku Brobe, because I like him, Reku Brobe, like him. Very intelligent man. And I go to Lifeline, where he used to come at a Kwafo Hall in Legon. And I'm talking to him all the time, and he says, what is your name? I say, my name is Paul Adom Otchere. What are you studying? I'm studying political science and classics. Okay, do you like it? I like it. Yeah. Where do you come from? I come from Kwamo, near Ejusu, the Ashanti region. You can be MP. Osaje Kra, you can remove him because you are a young man and you are very sharp. So I follow Reku Brobe, kitty. Then Reku Brobe's party wins the election when I'm doing national service after level 400. Then Reku Brobe becomes the minister for energy. Then he calls me, Paul, I'm going for vetting. Come and help me prepare. Then I go to Reku Brobe's house and I help him prepare. Then we go for the vetting. Then he finishes. He says, Paul, can you be my PA? Have you finished your national service? Oh, I haven't finished. Why are you doing your national service? Joy FM. Stop the Joy FM. Tell national service to transfer you to Ministry of Energy. I said, oh, Doc, unless you do that. Okay, so he calls National Service Secretariat. Nana Boache is there. He's also an MPP. He knows Nana Boache. Nana Boache, can you transfer Paul Adom Otchere from Joy FM to Ministry of Energy? He said, oh, Doc, that's simple. Okay, Nana Boache goes to the office, call the secretary, says, look, come. This is the number for a candidate. He's called Paul Adom Otchere. Transfer him from Joy FM to Ministry of Energy and then organize a letter for him. So Nana Boache calls Reku and says, tell Paul to come for the letter. I go for letter. They transfer it to Ministry of Energy. Okay. So I go to Ministry of Energy. I'm Reku Bobe's PA. Very effective, very sharp. I'm working for him. 2 years' time, I have a mansion at Pokwase, or I have a mansion at Doyumu, or I have a mansion at Hacho Ekomog, or Pram, or I don't have a mansion in Accra, but I've built one at Pankrono, at Breport Junction, and things like that, you know. Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it good? Is it bad? 4 years later, we go for an election. Reku Brobe's party wins. And the president is going to his final term. Reku Brobe calls me now. I have a ministry car. I'm a special assistant to the Minister of Energy. I'm on Joy FM. I'm talking. I'm on City. I'm talking. I'm on Metro TV. I'm coming on Good Morning Ghana. I'm defending the position of the ministry, blah, blah, blah. Everybody says, Charlie, this guy is very clever. Reku Brobe calls me and says, Charlie, it's time for you to go to Parliament. Oh, this was AJ guy. We'll remove him. Ediomi. We'll remove him. You have to go. So I go and tell my house people that, Charlie, my boss says Parliament, and then he organizes plenty money for me. I go to the contest. I pay every delegate. How much do they pay? 800 or something. I've forgotten. They pay some money. You pay. Then the delegates vote for me. I become member of Parliament. I'm 30 years old. Beautiful. I'm not even married. I'm 30 years old. I'm a member of Parliament. Reku Brobe is a senior member of the government. Now the president is leaving, so Reku Brobe is running for the presidency. I'm his main guy. And I'm pushing the agenda, and I'm receiving money from all kinds of businessmen for Charlie Brops. He was my friend, my godfather, as they call it in politics, godfather. Is it wrong? I leave you to respond on the social media. Let me read it again the last time before I move on. Some young men have never worked in their lives. They follow some big men after school, get a big position, and after 2 years, they build mansions. Yet, nobody asks how. True or false? 15 minutes past the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. Okay, let me go and congratulate now the Ghana Police Service and the judicial system. Everyone is satisfied. The IGP really did promise that before the Akwetia election, there will be action on the Hawa Kumsin situation. My dear darling sister Hawa Kumsin, everyone knows how much I love Hawa Kumsin. And I was so devastated when I saw a whole grown, big, huge man fly, you know, like Diego Maradona. And no, did I say like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Really, it looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. The guy threw himself like Arnold Schwarzenegger, punched her, put her down, beat her up. And people were clapping. She deserves it. Is she not the one who pulled the gun in Kaswa? Is she not that stupid minister? Being slapped in 2019 in the Yawaso was Wigan, which brought about a committee, the Emil Short Committee. You know, it is bad then and it was bad now. It is worse now because it is a woman. And that has to be said. A woman beaten in public is worse than a man being beaten in public. A man being beaten in public is bad for a democratic society. But a woman being beaten in public is barbaric. And thank you to the voices within the NDC who felt that, no, this is wrong. This shouldn't be. And I hope that Hawa Kumsin and her cohorts will feel the justice of the system. Congratulations and big salute to IGP Yohonu, who insisted that this problem will be solved before the Akwetia by-election. We saw some data today that said that Ghana is going down in the peace coefficient, if you like. And I'm guessing that this is a big part of it. Very, very violent. This is a report. It says that Ghana drops out of top 5 peaceful countries in Africa, and we now rank 61st globally. I'm guessing that this very dastardly event in Ablekuma North must have been part of it. I think that we have now banished that to history. And let me get the court reports back. And today, we are hearing that the court, 8 convicted for assaulting Hawa Kumsin and 2 others. And they pleaded guilty as well. I mean, I don't know who their lawyer was, but perhaps the lawyer wanted to make it very quick because there's video evidence. You're not going to take us through a trial process. They pleaded guilty. They've been granted bail. Sentencing will be given, I think, sometime soon. And we hope that it will be okay. This is where it's important that Ghana, in our sentencing regime, custodial sentence must sometimes give way to community service. The people are sorry. They've said they are sorry. I'm sure they will say sorry to Hawa Kumsin. They pleaded guilty. Community service will suffice so that we can all move on. This is the full report. The Ghana News Agency reports that 8 persons who assaulted Mavis Hawa Kumsin, the ex-minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, and 2 others during the Ablekuma North rerun elections have been convicted by an Accra High Court. This was after they had pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit crime, to wit, assault, and 3 counts of assault. The 8 persons include Mohammed Abubakar, a private security, Jijani Mahmoud, a driver, Prince Jakwasu, a businessman, Anas Mohammed, an estate developer. The rest are Mohammed Hamda, a mechanic, Daku Otibu Samuel, a businessman, Musa Muntari, a station manager, and Ali Said, a businessman. The court presided over by Mr. Isaac Addo convicted them on their pleas but deferred the sentence to Friday, August 29, 2025. It, however, granted the accused persons who are on police inquiry bail, court bail in the sum of 80,000 with 1 surety each. Wow. Okay, that's a good story, and we hope that they will not be given custodial sentence and that they will be allowed to serve. We are getting into politics now, now that we are getting into the full glare of the conversation. I'd like to put this story this way. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo is here congratulating Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Now, how did he congratulate Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia? Brushing through the news today in the office, I jumped onto this story. I quickly sent it to an NDC friend of mine and I said, your Ofosu-Ampofo is saying something. He said, what is he saying? And they said, don't go and do mischief on TV today. I said, but what is the mischief? I'm just going to report the story. Is that mischief? My NDC friends are always very edgy and nervous about what I'm going to say on TV about these things when I share it with them. He quickly said, hey, don't go and do those your things. Okay, let's see the story. It comes up and it says, you don't have the story? I'm sure they do. It's about a digitalization process. And yeah, there's a story. This is Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo speaking on 26th August 2025. And he says, Ghana is the only African country with fully interoperable instant payment systems, a unique achievement that has fueled mobile money adoption, expanded e-commerce, and promoted financial inclusion. Truth, viewers, truth is only one. You can't hide it. You can propaganda it. But it will confront you when you are in government. Oh, digitalization, is that what we are going to eat? Who eats digitalization? We eat digitalization. We are hungry, say digitalization. Cho boy, who take them out? Vote against them. What is digitalization? When they came, they said digitalization. Oh, my pen is even falling. Today. Ofosu-Ampofo says what? Ghana, please put it up again. He says, Ghana is the only African country with fully interoperable instant payment systems, a unique achievement that has fueled mobile money adoption, expanded e-commerce, and promoted financial inclusion. Who achieved this? Who did? Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Mahamudu Bawumia. The 38% people. 38%. This is what they achieved. Ghana's first mobile money interoperability systems deepens financial inclusion and promotes cashless system. 16th May 2018. That was by Mahamudu Bawumia. This is what Muhammadu Bawumia did. It says, an active member of the Alliance for Financial Inclusion Network, blah, 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 launched the country's first mobile money interoperability systems through the Ghana Interbank Payment Systems and Settlement Systems. The system was launched by the Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, on 10th May 2018, and is aimed at eliminating the complexities and inconveniences associated with transfers across the various mobile money networks in the country. These challenges include difficulty in opening bank accounts, high cost in maintaining a bank account relative to customs income levels, and financial literacy. Ghana's first mobile money interoperability deepens financial inclusion and promotes cashless society. 2018. 2025. Put Ofosu-Ampofo statement back. I like Ofosu-Ampofo. I don't know whether the statement was given to him to read or he put it out himself. But this is how it is, you see. The politics. This is the point I was making the other day with my friend Chumbuafo on Good Morning Ghana. Let us agree that some things are not part of politics. And let's deal with policy. Because if you deal with those things and take advantage of them, it will take advantage of you. Anything that you use to win an election, that is not right. That thing will also eat you up. Later tonight, if I have time, I'll show you Mohammed Yamin of Ashanti Ridge, the things he's saying about Galamsey. This is Ofosu-Ampofo here. Senior person in the NDC. One of the most senior persons, a political advisor to the vice president. Acknowledging within 8 months of the NPP losing election and gaining only 38%, that in fact, the policy of digitalization has taken Ghana very, very far. Acknowledging that, in fact, the policy of digitalization has taken Ghana very, very far. I didn't say it. Ofosu-Ampofo says Ghana is the only African country with fully interoperable instant payment systems, a unique achievement that has fueled mobile money adoption, expanded e-commerce, and promoted financial inclusion. Hallelujah be to the resurrected Lord. Hey, Japan. Okay, congratulations, Kalahari. First to file. Is it best to lead? I don't know yet. All right, so let's look at the NDC, the MPP. Kennedy Akompreko files tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and you should expect a very massive mammoth crowd at the place. They call him the grassroots champion, and he's going to pull a lot of grassroots people there as he attempts for the second time to become the MPP's presidential flag bearer. The first time in 2023, he came second with 34-point-something%, I think 34.7%, coming second to Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia. Brian Achampong is being on the news for making controversial statements about his campaign relating to other people's candidature and also relating to money, financial resources, and wherewithal to be able to deal with these things. Brian Achampong has come up for controversy. He is from Presec, Odade, where he was our dining hall prefect back in the day. Brian Achampong is filing tomorrow as well. Also, Osei Aweduchum, who is filing on Thursday. Osei Aweduchum completely changed the face of Ghana's education. I'm yet to talk to him about the BEC results and what that portends. I've heard that the Minister of Education is talking about cancelling the nurses and teacher training allowance. I want to ask him about it. And I want to ask him about the pre-SHS and the future thereof. Osei Aweduchum is a very, very big brain, one of the brightest spots in Akufo-Addo's administration. He files his nomination tomorrow. Then, of course, former Vice President Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, who was on the ballot for the MPP in 2024, who won the last MPP internal contest by 60-something%. Dr. Bawumia will be filing on Thursday as well, and he's the last to file, and that will bring a close to the MPP nominations. So one of these men will win the MPP nominations. It could be Dr. Bawumia, it could be Osei Aweduchum, it could be Brian Achampong, it could be Kennedy Akompreko Japan. All right, National Democratic Congress, the ruling party. Here they are. Julius Deborah, the Chief of Staff, who has been very, very active as a Chief of Staff. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who until recently was the heir apparent. Everybody knew that Asiedu Nketia was going to grab this thing. Nothing was going to change it. Now he's getting some competition. We don't know whether the competition will be enough, but certainly Asiedu Nketia starts in the lead. We don't know whether he will be overtaken or not. But yes, Asiedu Nketia has been with the party for long. Julius Deborah presents a real competition with the grassroots. And if you look at the regional balance, Julius Debra would easily pick up the Eastern region votes because he's done great politics. The Eastern region is one of the big places. Johnson Asiedu Nketia will pick the votes from his hometown, the 3 Bono regions. The 2 of them are going to compete neck in Ashanti. They are going to slaughter each other in Ashanti because Ashanti is a big part. And Ashanti was important in the NDC's recent victory. So that's where the battle line is going to be drawn. Whichever of these 2 picks up the Ashanti region in addition to what they already have, I think they're going to sail through. Kesel Atoforsen is going to be strong in the central region, but will he be able to do other regions? I don't know. How well will Johnson Asiedu Nketia do in the central region? I don't know whether Kesel Atoforsen is going to go all the way and have himself on the ballot, but because I'm hearing that at some point he may decide to step aside for a running mate slot. You know that the central region has always been on the NDC ballot since 1992. I'm not sure whether that's going to change in 2028. Some people think that should not change. And if that is so, Atoforsen perhaps having done what he's done at the Ministry of Finance until now and being a stalwart of the central region, perhaps may want to step aside and consider himself for a running mate's position, given that he's Minister of Finance. Running mates, they say, will become economic forum boss. So, well, maybe. I don't know how that's going to work out. But this is the cast of the NDC. There's an Eric Opoko, who is the Minister for Agric. Nice, fine gentleman. I don't know the extent to which he's moving on his campaign. But so far, the campaign is almost settled. Asiedu Nketia has been making statements this week that will endear him to the middle ground. He says, for instance, that in Ghana, you need to have a connection to get a job. That endears him to the middle ground. He says, for instance, that people should qualify for their job. That endears him to the middle ground. He's also putting up a middle-class image. I showed you the last time, the way he's presenting himself in his attire and his apparel. He's looking like Chairman Mao, chairman of the Communist Party. And that's Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Julius Debra is coming like fire. He's marauding into the race. As chief of staff, he controls a lot of power. This is not the first time he's been chief of staff. He's been chief of staff before. He knows how to interconnect with a lot of people. He's dealing with the urban youth, middle class, and he hopes to add together. Who is John Dramani Mahama going to back? That's going to be very, very important. I'm not sure who John Mahama is going to back, but that's going to be very, very important. So the race, the battle lines seem to be drawn. Now, let's look at the permutations. So if you have Mahamudu Bawumia and Julius Debra, who's going to win? What are the strengths and weaknesses? What are the similarities? Similarities, differences. How's it going to work? Would they rely on their running mates? So if you have Napo behind Mahamudu Bawumia and you have Ibrahim Mahama behind Julius Debra, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I don't know. What's going to happen? Very, very interesting permutations. We have a whole lot of time to discuss these things, and issues are going to come up. How is Musa Danko? How is he doing tonight? Is he looking at some of these things? Okay. All right. Let's look at another set. You got Johnson Asiedu Nketia emerging from the NDC, and then you have Mahamudu Bawumia from the NPP. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Similarities, differences, contrast. What's going to happen? You have Napo behind him, and you have, say, Haruna Idrisu or Alban Bagbin behind Johnson Asiedu Nketia. How's that going to work? How's it going to work? I don't know. So you tell me, viewers. You tell me. How's it going to work? You have Alban Bagbin behind him, or you have Zaneto Rawlings behind him. You have Zaneto Rawlings behind Asiedu Nketia as a running mate, and you have Napo here. How are you going to see it? How do you see it? How's it going to work? This is an interesting one. You have Kennedy Akompreko winning the MPP thing, and then you have Julius Debra winning the NDC one. How is it going to work? How is it going to work? And then you have an Abu Jnapo or a Mohamed Amin Anta behind Kennedy. Mohamed Amin Anta or Abu Jnapo behind Kennedy. And you have Ibrahim Mahama behind Julius Debra. How is it going to work? 2028 is a long shot away. Very, very long. In politics, a day is like a year. Very long. Let's look at the permutations. John Mahama is not there. Akufo-Addo is not there. They are gone. No Akufo-Addo, no John Mahama. John Adjokun Kufuor left a long time ago, but they will all be here observing. Kufuor will be observing. Kufuor will be advising. They will be observing. How is it going to work? Think about it, viewers. That's a permutation, isn't it? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You roll over and you have Kennedy Akompreko and Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Lila baba, li baba, baba, baba. That one is going to be a putu, 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 putu. The campaign is going to be feisty. The campaign songs are going to be interesting. So one is going to pick up Ashanti. Ashanti is going to be very important. Bono is going to be very important. Central region is going to be important. Western North, very important. What's going to happen? 2028. Putu. We'll be here. That's our work. We'll be covering it. We're covering it for you. Great times coming ahead. Brian Achampong, in case he wins. Then you have Julius Debra, Eastern region versus Eastern region. Similarities. Eastern region versus Eastern region. The battle is going to be in the Eastern region. Achim Abuakwa, Achim Tafo, Achim Kotoku, Achim Suedro, Akwetia, Enkwetia, Empraiso, Abetifi. Obo, I can't forget Obo. Nkoko, the British call it Nkau, but it's Nkoko. You're going to have some fierce fights in the Eastern region. Brian says he's building a runway for the Eastern region airport that's better than all the runways in the world. So we're going to be flying Togbe Afedes Africa World from Accra to Kwahu on Easter, and then we can go to Brian's hotel and all of that. Julius Debra is doing the Kwahu Summit. You saw that. He's going to repeat it every year, Kwahu Summit. So both are competing for the Kwahu hero, the one whose statue will be put on the Nkoko Mountain. It's going to be a great fight. Let's wait and see how it goes. Brian Achampong versus Johnson Asiedu Ketia. Or somebody sends me a text. Brian Achampong versus Johnson Asiedu Ketia is cool chop. Cool chop for who? Cool chop for who? Let's see how it goes. So all of these are the matters that are agitating people's minds this week as the MPP completes its situation with the presidential aspirants and presidential candidates. Thereafter, there will be vetting. And sometime this week, I'll pay a visit to Nana Akufo-Addo. You know, he set up his office in Accra. I've not been there yet. I'll go and visit with him. And I'm sure that when I go, these conversations will come up. And he'll ask me what is happening and who is leading our race. Who is leading? He's going to ask me, hey, Mr. Man, who is leading the race in the MPP? And I'm going to have a beautiful chat with him. I miss him so much. I'm going to be going to look for him this week. I think on Thursday or Friday, I'll go and see him in his new office in Accra, starting to do his work as former president of the Republic of Ghana. Okay, and we will talk about this. Some of the conversations, I'll report back to you viewers. Of course, you know I always come and do the concern with you once I speak to some of these important elderly men. They have a lot of a fountain of wisdom that you can always borrow from. And I sit with Akufo-Addo, sometimes it goes to 2, 3, 4 hours. And I'm still picking information from him. All you need to ask Akufo-Addo to get him talking is that, Nanado, in 1979, who was the candidate for, he loves those things. Akufo-Addo is thoroughly political. You say, it was Odoy Sykes. No, I think, and out of that, he'll tell you a whole 45 pages of a great Ghanaian political historical story. I'm going to enjoy that this week, and I'll share with you some of the details. But this is where we are. This is how it's looking like what is going to happen in Ghana's contest for presidency in 2028. Presidential Contest Committee chaired by Kwame Adokufo. They will be receiving the forms of Kennedy Akompreko. You can imagine the buzz that is going to hit the MPP headquarters tomorrow. After that, Brian Achampong would also be presenting his forms, and you can imagine also that there will be major buzz as far as that is concerned as well. On Thursday, it's going to get even more interesting. Osaya Oduchum will be presenting his forms as midday, and then after that, former Vice President Alhaji Mahamadou Bawumia will be presenting his forms to complete the charge, and the MPP will now be ready for vetting. The vetting should be quite simple because all of these candidates have been vetted before the previous year and have passed. Is there a new entrant in there? No. Kwabena Japan is old. Akompreko is old. Osaya Oduchum is the new entrant in there, but here is a man who had been minister, distinguishing himself as Minister for Education and a Member of Parliament. To all intents and purposes, he's going to scale the vetting. And of course, Mahamadou Bawumia, former Vice President, is also going to scale the vetting. So the vetting is not going to be controversial. And then the campaign will truly start, and they will be at each other until January 31. We have a lot to say about that. People have been urging me to talk about what Brian Achampong said, what Akompreko said. We'll get there. Now, in that political conversation, we are also going to strike a balance, you know. We're going to strike a balance and find out if A were to win in the MPP and B were to win in the NDC, what is likely to happen, all things being equal, in 2028? We know that all things may not be equal, so we're going to also juxtapose the event. If the economy is this, the economy is that, his marketing is this, if President Mahama does this and does that, how is it going to work? So we're going to say, for instance, that Julius Debra versus Kennedy Japan. How is it going to look like? Julius Debra versus Muhammadu Bawumia. How is it going to look like? Johnson Asiedun Ketia versus Muhammadu Bawumia. How is it going to look like? Johnson Asiedun Ketia versus Kennedy Japan. Johnson Asiedun Ketia versus Brian Achampong. How is it going to look like? What about Keselato Forsen? What's going to happen? So we have that political hypothesis for you later tonight. Also, we get into the law classroom. The last week, or was it more than a week ago, the UK Chamber of Law, some organization like that, wrote a very strongly worded letter to the government of Ghana, insisting that the government should, as a matter of urgency, reinstate Gertrude Tokonu as the Lord Chief Justice. We'll look at that. The Attorney General of the Republic quickly responded to the letter. We're going to look at those two. And then we will now descend into the Article 146 Committee, where we are hearing all kinds of rumors that it looks like the committee is about to end its story. They're about to end their story, and Justice Tokonu has managed to present major heavyweights to aid her case before the Justice Poaman Committee. What's going to happen? We're going to look at the persons who appeared before the committee. Potentially, what did they say? Because we don't know what they said. The Article 146 process is held in camera, and therefore, we don't know what they said. But we have some snipers of ideas based on what news has reported. Many news portals have reported the appearance of these heavyweights: Justice Enini Eboa, Justice Sophia Kofu, who is still a member of the Council of State, Justice Jones Doche, and also Nana Dr. SKB Asante, all of them appearing before the committee to speak for Justice Tokonu's innocence on these matters. We're going to have a look at that and see what kind of media news we should be expecting. The Rich Hospital nurse has taken out a writ of defamation against the proverbial Ralph. What kind of evidence must she submit to the court to convince the court that she was actually attacked, assaulted physically by Ralph and his gang at the Rich Hospital last week? There's videos that shows that there may have not been a physical contact, but information we are hearing from Rich Hospital is that the videos that we have is from the outpatients department, and that the physical contact may have taken place in the trauma department, where as a result of what happens there, trauma, they do not put CCTV cameras there. But there were witnesses who can attest to it. That's what we're hearing. We're going to evaluate all of these as we look at the writ that has been filed by the nurse to an Accra High Court, asking for damages in defamation against the proverbial Ralph. So Lawyer Apreko will join me on the touch screen when we look at the Chief Justice's situation, the Rich Hospital nurse. What evidence must she provide before the court to convince the court that in fact she has been assaulted? And also, does the UK Chamber have any justification to rise to the government of Ghana and insist that the government of Ghana must reinstate Chief Justice Tokonu? Now, someone told me that they have a right to do so, and many people have been conversing with said they don't have the right to do so. Now, the one who said they have the right to do so had an interesting argument. He said that we in Ghana, by our historical governance systems, did not have a role of a Chief Justice. We have borrowed the role of a Chief Justice from the colonial engagements that we have had with the United Kingdom and the Western world. Therefore, the Western world can tell us how Chief Justices should work. That's an interesting analysis, isn't it? That's an interesting proposition. We'll be looking at that in some detail. So we have a full plate for you tonight. Let's begin with the Kwesi Pratt story, and that's quite a sad story for me. I start. I was watching a video today of Shatta Wale. You can show some of it without the sound. Shatta Wale, one of my favorite musicians of all time. He had been entangled with this stolen car, Lamborghini, and all of that. Yeah, that's Shatta on your screen, really angry and complaining about something. Shatta Wale has been complaining that he's been unfairly treated in this whole Lamborghini issue, okay? Now, there are two Lamborghinis we are dealing with now. There's a yellow Lamborghini and there's a purple Lamborghini. The yellow Lamborghini continues to be within the hold of the Economic and Organized Crimes EOCO office. The purple Lamborghini, Shatta Wale cleared it on video from the Tema port, and he now has it. Now, the allegation is that the yellow Lamborghini is a stolen car that Shatawale was using. And so it has been collected by Iyoko for further investigations. In this video that you are watching, Shatawale is pointing to a portal where you can tell whether a car is being stolen or not. He's referencing his lawyer friends in America who have done some work on this portal. And I have the portal on my phone. It's been sent to me as well because I called these people and said, where is this coming from? How can I also see it? And you can go through it and you will see how to find a car, stolen car, whatever. And he's convinced, together with his lawyers, that this car is not stolen. He's convinced, therefore, that all of this is a trump-up charge against him. And what hurts, if you're looking at this in Ghana, is that it's very complicated, you know. Every society that has developed with its best brains. You know, these things are very sensitive to say because when you talk like that, it sounds like some people are more important than some people, but that's not the point. No one is more important than the others. If those of you who are Christians, you read the Bible, you remember the story of Gideon when he was going to battle, and God said he should separate his soldiers this way and that way. It didn't mean that some soldiers were more important than some, but there are some whose role may be critical to national development at the start. There are others whose role will come next. So for instance, comedians are very, very important to social hegemony. But you need to have an auditorium where the comedians will talk and where the comedians will perform and express themselves. Musicians are important, but you need to have microphone. It's the engineer who makes the microphone. So to set out a music industry, you have to start with the engineer. The engineer is the one who sets out the music industry. You have to start with some people. And that is why in the 1980s, the government of Ghana decided that science education was very important and that they were going to focus on it because Ghana believed that Japan had focused on science education and was doing better. Our critical thinkers, electrical engineers, civil engineers, medics, biochemists, chemistry, physics, mathematics, those people can set out the society. And then when the society is set up with infrastructure, the rest can come. It hurts when it looks like a society is not putting its best foot forward. There are too many pretenders these days. People who pretend that I am this, I have background in that, I am that, and they are all pretenders. You can talk about the GTech issue of picking people who say they have PhD when they don't. All of that is very, very worrying. And we need to set out something in this country and push forward our thinkers. Because the thinkers, the original, real, great, talented thinkers who have studied are always going to be those who are going to push the information for us. It's very, very important. You know, I believe there's a statue of Cicero or Socrates or one of those thinkers. It is important that we have thinkers in this society. And there's a story I'm going to share with you that has a Kwesi Pratt's name in it. This story is very disturbing because, you see, there are thinkers, and we have seen this. This happened on Metro TV, you know. We have seen how thinkers should lead our society. All of these people pretending is very dangerous. And people who are pretending that they know this, they know that, they know this, they know that, and they only occupy political positions. Johnson Asiedu Katia recently spoke and said that in Ghana, there's too much of whom you know in the way in which people get a job to do. That the real crux of the matter is people who can do it. You know, Arthur Kennedy was talking recently, I'll show you that later on. He was talking recently about how people leave school, follow a politician, and then they have built a house and houses and etc., etc. They don't do any work, they don't have any experience, just finish school and cheer a politician. He becomes MP or he becomes minister, and you are his man, and you can benefit from the largesse of the state. That's very, very disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. In this video that I'm going to show you, and I'm pushing this agenda because we need to put our thinkers forward, whether it's NDC or MPP. Let's be sure that the guy occupying the position has the wherewithal to do it. That's what Asiedu Katia is complaining about, and I completely agree with him. Let's have people who can deliver it, who have the track record, the wherewithal to show that he can be IGP, the wherewithal to show that he can be National Security Coordinator, the wherewithal to show that he can be this and he can be that. It's very, very important. Not people who are talking about themselves. If you can deliver the job, you don't need to say anything about yourself. It will be obvious that you can deliver the job. I mean, look at this Shatawale thing. A car has been seized. It says it's stolen. And apparently, there's a simple application that anyone can go to find whether this car is stolen or not. It's very simple. Kwesi Pratt was on Good Morning Ghana, and he was very offended by something he felt delivered very, very poor thinking in our society. Very, very poor thinking. 3 weeks after Kwesi Pratt had this banter with this establishment, the whole thing comes round. And Elvis Eeii Ankra now tells us that it's okay. The office is not working. Let's look. Here was Ambassador Kwesi Pratt, and I call him Ambassador. Last time we spoke, I spoke to him about a week ago. He called me up. We're talking about something, and he said, why do you keep referring to me as ambassador on your show? And I said, but you're an ambassador of the Cuban Revolution. And then he laughed and said, you are full of mischief. But that's okay. But Kwesi Pratt was exhibiting, what as a country, what thinking do you go through to say you have economical something to review prophecies? That's the point Kwesi Pratt was making. And Elvis Ankra challenged him. Do you have another video? Is that another video? Let me understand it. Is that another video? Elvis Ankra challenged him, and you saw the challenge. Okay, so leave it there. Now, Elvis Ankra proceeded with his work. Few days later, he came up with this, put the poster up, let's read it. What does it say? It says, over 200 prophecies submitted since national directive. Presidential envoy reveals. Elvis Ankra says that he received over 200 prophecies since the prophecy, since he received it. Then the next one that came was, enough of your death prophecy. No, there was one that he said over 200, some of them are not good, 80% are not good. Do you have that one? Yes. It says, government receives over 200 prophecies. This is Elvis Ankra. 80% of no use. Kwesi Pratt was making the argument with him. Where is our thinking? What is the meaning of this? Now the Elvis Ankra, the economical boss, argues with Kwesi Pratt that we have to do it. You don't believe in God. Okay. He comes and says, I've received 200 prophecies, suggesting that the office is working. Then he comes and says, the 200 prophecies that he has received, no, over 80 of them are of no use. That's Elvis Eeii Ankra. Okay, we are listening. Go to the next one. Elvis Ankra then comes just recently and says, what did he say? He says, enough of your death prophecies. My office isn't receiving prophecies. Now, he's not receiving the prophecies anymore. I think he said something about, there's another one, send me prophecies of development, something like that. Where is that one? Do you have that one? Okay, if they have it. He said, oh no, not that one. Prophecies of development, if you have that one. Okay, so he says that over 200 prophecies that were received are of no use. And then now he says that 80% of the prophecies don't work. And then now he says, I'm not receiving the prophecies anymore. Did you get the Franklin Cudjoe? Did you get the Franklin Cudjoe? Yes, put the Franklin Cudjoe up. In between, Franklin Cudjoe comes up and says that, oh, President Mahama doesn't know anything about it. Do you have it? I want viewers to see. Oh, you don't have it? Okay. In between, Franklin Cudjoe comes up and says, President Mahama is not part of this bring prophecies to the economical office. The economical office is set up, yes, but President Mahama didn't say they should bring the prophecies there. I agree. I can believe Franklin Cudjoe. In between also, Kwesi Pratt said that it is ridiculous that a pastor, a Reverend Fire Oja or something, I don't know whether you guys got it, Fire Oja, Fire or Fire Oja, said that he needs transport and something, a car and something to transport himself to the place and bring the prophecies. Next thing we saw, Ojaba. Next thing we saw, Ojaba and Elvis Ankra have taken a photograph in a place that looks like the president's home. Ojaba and the president have also taken a photograph. All of these things is what Kwesi Pratt was saying. Where is our thinking? Why don't we put our thinkers forward? We are a developing country. We need thinkers. We need political parties, but we need thinkers. So why are we doing that? It's very, very key. And I began from the Shatawale story because as a nation, we can't say that our state institutions don't know that there's an app. There's technology these days. Don't know that there's an app that you can easily verify whether a car is stolen in America or it's not stolen? Is it somebody who wants to occupy an office and pump up ego? What is the point? What are we doing? What's the point? We have a country to govern. All young people. I'm old, but there are people who are 40 and below. And we have a country to govern. We have to fix it. And to fix it, we have to have people who are thinking to lead. Everyone is important, but people are important at different times. We need first the builder. If you are building a house, you start from the foundation. You don't start from the roof. So the person who will do the roof must wait for the foundation to be constructed. The person who will do the windows must wait for the foundation to be constructed, the roof to be constructed. All of it comes together to form a house. All of it comes together to form a developed nation. So you go to America, you have rapper P. Diddy. He's there. He's making an impact in America. You have Jay-Z. He's there. He's making an impact in America. You have, which basketball player do you know? Anyone you can mention. He's there. He's making an impact. But there are also the engineers who build the road from New York to New Jersey, who build the road from New Jersey to Texas. They are the astronauts who do what they are doing. You have the telecom people who deploy the satellite so that you can watch Jay-Z on your phone. All of that comes together. In every aspect, let's develop and push forward our thinkers. Everybody is important. And that's why I support Kwesi Pratt's agenda this evening. I watched that program. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in prophecies. But how does a government set up an office to be receiving prophecies? What is the meaning of that? Set up a whole office to receive prophecy. Receive prophecy for what? The president can identify his own prophets. The president can identify prophets and we need not know them. Because spiritual consultation is very important. Kwesi Pratt may depart from me on that, but that's okay. Spiritual consultation is important. But why must we set up an office and say people should bring prophecies? How do we know who is a pastor? There's no way to legislate a pastor. Pastors are not legislated in October where lawyers are called to the bar. Pastors are not legislated. What month did they used to do it for the doctor? I think February. In February, where people go and take the Hippocratic oath. Pastors are not legislated at the KNUST graduation where they are churning out electrical engineers. Pastors are not legislated at the Legon congregation where they are churning out sociology, anthropology, archaeology, and political science graduates. Pastors are called of God. They are spirit people. So there's no legislation. So I can say I'm a pastor today. Every doctor can be a pastor, an engineer can be a pastor, anybody can be a pastor. And we set up a government office to say that we want to review prophecies. Thinking, what is happening? What is happening? And then we say that we have an institution in Ghana that can seize stolen cars. When the stolen car can be identified on the phone. I mean, when it was sent to me, I was surprised. I said, is that simple? Yeah, is that simple? Because if you have any prophecy about Ghana becoming like Malaysia, Singapore, or South Korea, then come see me. So what is happening? What is happening? What is going on? Viewers, please add your voice to it. Let's put our thinkers forward. At this time of our development, it is very, very, very important. Every Ghanaian is important. We need every Ghanaian to develop. Those at home, those abroad, those in the city, those in the suburban areas, those in the villages. Every Ghanaian is important. Let's identify what we do first. And then let's put those people forward. Let's put our engineers forward. Let's put our engineers in our security institutions. Let's put our engineers in our investigative institutions. Let's deploy our electrical engineers. Let's deploy our civil engineers. Let's deploy those young men who have demonstrated talent in the polytechnics. Let's deploy them. Let's deploy them. And stop this joking, this egotistic joking. We have an egotistic joke that is going on. I mean, look how Kwesi Pratt was upset in the studio. Did I say more? Okay, no. Now, let's go to the touch screen and let me talk about, okay, before then, I'll go to the touch screen, but there's a video I'd like to show you. I'm talking about one of those people that I can say tonight that has demonstrated that she is a bright spot in the future of politics in Ghana. When I put up the flyer, I was reading the messages and somebody said that, oh, go with you. Today you are praising Alanche Martin people. I was wondering what he's talking about. So I showed it to one of my people. What's he talking about? I said, oh, Abena Osasa was supporting Alanche Martin. I said, oh my goodness. People are very interesting and people have a lot of information. Abena Osasa, the Member of Parliament for Etiwa, former Deputy Minister of Finance, has truly distinguished herself as the first female chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee is one of the most important anti-corruption corruption watch committees of Parliament. And as a reason of its being a corruption watch committee of Parliament, it is usually chaired by the minority, because I think the constitutional framers did not believe that the majority who have the president will check their own corruption. So since time immemorial, I remember the chairmanship of Albert Kandapa did an excellent job. One of the days, I can never forget Kandapa chairing the Public Accounts Committee, because we had gone to interview him here on Good Evening Ghana. We had gone to Parliament to interview him about this work on Public Accounts Committee. The same night that the interview was broadcast, he was robbed and a lot of his documents were stolen. And everyone believed that it's as a result of the disclosures he made on the interview. Since then, Public Accounts Committee chairman have not been granting interviews about the work they are doing. We're really sorry about that. But that's why I cannot forget Albert Kandapa as a Public Accounts Committee chairman. However, Abena Osasare is doing a sterling job. Just look at this small clip. And this is a canker that exists in our society. You work for government. You're a young person. You're 27 years old. You become a teacher. You become a doctor. You become a staff of the Ghana Post. You become anything. And then you start working. And they have to change something. Maybe you get transferred or something like that. And you get taken off the payroll. Bringing you back on the payroll is a nightmare. Sometimes 2 years. You have not received salary and you have to go back to work. Abena Osasare was questioning this phenomenon among many other things that she has done. You remember her conversation with Malik Basintali. And it's the first time I've seen Malik Basintali humbled and listening, and I'm happy that he did.